Hey, it's Chuck Armstrong with Loudwire Nights, and this is Loudwire Nights On Demand. We recently caught up with friend of the show, Sonny Sandoval of P.O.D, as we celebrated the upcoming release of their new album, Veritas, out on May 3rd. This conversation first aired on Thursday, April 25th. Here you go. Well, last year we had tonight's special guest on the show to talk about a brand new song that he and his band released featuring a very special guest, Randy Blythe of Lamb of God. And there was some hinting at a new album, but at the time there weren't a whole lot of details. Well, here we are, 1 week out from the release of P.O.D's next record, Veritas, and we are hanging again with frontman Sonny Sandoval. Sonny, thank you so much for being here tonight, man.
Always, man. Thanks for having me.
So I just got to ask, first P.O.D album in 6 years. How are you feeling?
Well, I mean, always excited, but I think more excited this time just because we've been finished, mixed and mastered for at least a year and a half now, so I think COVID kind of pushed everything away, and we decided to do this whole single waterfall type release, so takes a lot of patience, but we're just excited for people to hear it, man.
Is that the longest you've gone, like in the history of P.O.D, with having a record finished and actually seeing it come out? Yeah.
Normally, you'll say if you start in the beginning of the year, by the time you mix and master, it could take a couple months to record or whatever. And then, maybe 6 months down the line, just kind of get in line. It's all, because everybody's releasing records. And so it's kind of just got to get in line. That's it.
On the recording side, was it easy for you guys to get in the studio, record this, bang it out?
No, it was different this time, man, because it was during the whole COVID process. Our bass player had moved to Nashville. We're just used to sitting in the room, all four of us looking at each other and writing. And, there was some band internal drama and stuff. So it's not like everybody was in the mood to write. And then, COVID hits. But then once, we get a couple years deep into COVID, and then you find out everybody's writing, and the label's like, you guys need to kind of, get it together and hurry up, So Marcos and I just started to take little day trips up to LA, which is about, 2.5 hours away. And it really just started with him and I, and really trusting our producers at the time to kind of be the rest of the band, And so we'd go up with a guitar riff, maybe a vocal idea, and lay it down. And with technology now, man, it's super easy. You can build drums right there on your laptop, just to hold the backbeat or whatever, and drop a bass line, and you're pretty much halfway done at that point. And the rest is just fine tuning. But so it was an interesting process. But I've said this before, this could be one of the best albums we've ever written.
Well, I was going to say, man, so I've had the privilege of getting to spend some time with it, and I agree. I think it is one of the best albums you've written. It's also, the heaviest record it seems like you guys have ever released.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you intend to make such a heavy album?
No, I think we did realize with the last record, Circles, we used the same producer, The Heavy, and we did recognize that it was a little bit more on the alternative side, maybe, but those are all just flavors of P.O.D. It's not like it's not P.O.D. I think we've just always kind of incorporated everything. But this time it really was just song by song basis. And I think by the time we got to the end and pretty much had an album done, I think someone had asked us, like one of the homies asked, like, "Did you guys do a reggae song? Do you guys do a punk song?" And then you start thinking, and you're like, "No, we did it," and we're known for that, So it was like, oh wow. So at the end, it's just a great surprise. It's just more straight through, kind of rocking and grooving, And we're okay with that.
Yeah. There was no sort of reggae flair to it or funk or whatever you want to say. But yeah,
right.
It's a great record from front to back.
Thanks, man.
Did you was there something conscious with you guys as you made these songs, or just that's how they came out, just heavier than normal?
If we were to sit down and say, hey, let's make the heaviest record possible, it would be 10 times heavier than this record. You know what I mean? It's never the idea. It's like, let's just make a P.O.D. record, it's unapologetically just whatever, who we are. But this one, like I said, song to song basis, just everything, everything in the world, the whole COVID situation. So it's been just a strange time in life. You know what I mean? So Here we are though, with a new record and more excited than ever.
Awesome, man. Yeah. It's, I don't know. I think you're right, man. The last few years, it seems like we need some heavy rock. And so you guys are delivering.
Well, it's funny because just doing a lot of these interviews and then, guys like yourself that are, reviewing records and stuff. And I guess they're getting the same, thought is that everybody's doing more of aggressive albums and, so maybe it's just subconscious.
Yeah. If my counting's correct, this is album number 11 for P.O.D.
I think so. Not including like some EPs and some live records and stuff. Yeah.
Is it hard to believe that you're here in 2024? Not just like revisiting, nostalgia, but actually releasing, celebrating, creating new music.
I mean, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? For us, we've been a band, almost 32 years, and it's not just about being a band and playing shows. I mean, we really do like writing music, and as long as we're going to do this, we want to continue to write and create music and leave behind albums. So, our kids can check out,
I love that,
future generations can Google us. You know what I mean? We're still doing it, looking at these old bands, that whatever pioneered this style of music. And it's like, man, this is incredible. So we just, I think we feel more blessed and more lucky to keep doing it after all these years.
Yeah. I love that, man. Well, it's, you mentioned 32 years. I mean, that's significant. And this year marks the, 30th anniversary of your debut album, Snuff the Punk, came out in 1994, which is crazy, man.
Oh man. Yeah, you're right.
So do you like to reflect on like that kind of thing, or does that not really play a part?
Now that you mentioned it, that's pretty incredible. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
we just see it as like us being teenage kids and not knowing what the heck we're doing, and not saying that we do now either, but it was just, us scrapping up our pennies from work and getting some studio time and going in and laying down whatever. But if anything, it's just a trip to see how, the whole recording process has changed and the industry has changed, and just, it's pretty insane.
Talking about just like the style of music and talking about Circles to Veritas, whether it's accurate or not, P.O.D. will always be part of the conversation on new metal, that genre, that label, whatever you want to call it. Does that mean anything to you? Like, as you think about the music you've made, as you reflect on albums, as you look forward to the release of Veritas, like, does that label mean anything to you?
It's whatever, I think we've gotten to the point where we just don't care anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think before, when we first started, it was all before new metal. We've heard it all, so it wasn't, It was like, you guys are rapcore, you guys are rap rock, you guys, whatever. And so those never stuck. So, obviously when they started calling you new metal, it was like, oh, that's not going to stick either. It'll just, whatever. It's whoever's calling the shots at that point. And then I think when it did stick, maybe we just didn't know how to embrace it. And we were like, we're just a rock band, whatever. But I think now that we're not new metal, it's like, I think P.O.D. is like, dude, whatever. We're cool with that. I think we want to embrace it now that everybody doesn't want to embrace it.
Yeah.
But whatever. I guess we just never thought of ourselves as in the metal genre. You know what I mean? I think we definitely have a lot of heavy elements, but we love so many different types of music, and we've tried to blend those as best that we can. So, I don't know. I just never thought we were a metal band, but I don't reject it at all. I love metal. So cool.
Well, and the other label that P.O.D. always had, or maybe still does, but is, that Christian rock too, or Christian new metal, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of the same thing. Like, you guys were just whatever, if this is what you want to label us, and that's fine. Yeah,
at the same time, I'm not losing sleep over it, but it's definitely worth a discussion, you know what I mean? Because it's like, if we were, we've just been a band about faith, and because we come from the hardcore scene, everybody's about something. So being about my faith was no different than any other band, you know what I'm saying? But I think, so if I was in a reggae band or a country band or an R&B band, no one would ever say, oh, hey, that's a Christian group. No one would ever say that. Yeah. But because we're in metal, it's like, oh, that's that Christian group. So it's not like it doesn't make us any popular. I mean, it actually hurts us in a way. Maybe not so much now, but 30 years ago,
sure,
it hurts you to say that because no one really understands what that means, you know? And so we always shied away from that. And at the same time, it's not like we ever marketed our faith and we got all kinds of love in the Christian realm or whatever that is, whatever that's called. We didn't. We got exactly the same. It was like, oh, those guys they're fake Christians. They're not real Christians. So we got more slack from the Christian world than we did the secular world. So we've always been in between two worlds. So it was never really fair. So, but whatever, we're not that band that's going to cry about it. We're just like, we just knew, hey man, when we hit that stage or whatever, we just have to be 10 times better than the band we're playing because we want to be undeniable. We're not going to stop being who we are. And if someone says, hey, I think those guys are Christians, and then they're going to watch us and hear us to be like, oh, whatever, dude, those guys rock, you know? And so that's
for sure, man. Yeah.
I guess that's kind of what we've done for 32 years is prove it. Like, I don't care what you say or what you believe in, bro, just listen to the music. You know,
that's right, man.
I'm a fan of Rage Against the Machine. Do I believe in all their politics and their thinking? No, I don't. Not at all. But damn, that band is so good.
Yeah.
It's just, so at least I just want the same courtesy. I've always wanted the same courtesy because I feel like, you know, in the metal world, you know, they're saying, it's like almost like it's subliminal. They're letting their readers know, hey, they're a Christian band, so don't pay attention to them.
Yeah, don't take them serious.
You know?
Yeah.
Don't take them serious, and I don't like that.
Yeah, it is weird, man. Like you said, every band has to be about something, and especially in the hardcore scene or the metal scene. And there's subgenres to the genres and all of that. But there is something about that Christian label that people will dismiss. And like you said, on both sides, right? On the secular side, they'll say don't take them serious. On the Christian side, it's, oh, they're not Christian enough. You know?
Yeah, they're not Christian enough. Yeah. On the metal side, we're too Christian. Right. You know, just because we might have said Jesus in an article or, you know, in a magazine or whatever. But on the Christian side, and they're very conservative, you know, it's like those aren't real Christians. Don't listen to them, you know. So it's just, we've always been in between.
Well, and here you are 32 years later, man, celebrating a new album.
Yeah, so what are you going to do?
We are, and we're right around the corner from a new tour kicking off, celebrating the new album. And it's quite the lineup, man. Bad Wolves, Blind Channel, Norma Jean. Were you guys really involved in the picking of those bands?
For sure, man. I mean, we always are, but, you know, there's still... Sometimes you get stuff thrown your way and it's like, you know, and then we were actually, Atreyu was going to be on this one too. Cause you know, like for us, it's just more about, we want the package experience. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, it didn't work out and it probably work out in the future, but you know, how all the music festivals are coming down the pike and it's like everybody's shuffling to do something. And when Bad Wolves was thrown at us, we're like, you know what? We've never done anything with Bad Wolves. So it was like, sick. Let's see if they want to team up because they're on the festivals too. And then they're like, heck yeah, you know. And then with Norma Jean, they're just old buddies of ours. You know, we've loved and respected those guys forever. You know, it just comes with the call. Hey man, are you guys available? And they're like, heck yeah, you know. And then Blind Channel's new to me, but I know that they're doing I guess they're huge in Europe and stuff. And so they're trying to make that crossover. They've done a couple tours here in the States and, you know, we were kind of informed about them and then we're like, cool, let's do it. And then I think maybe we'll go back to Europe, hopefully with those guys, you know?
Yeah, right on, man. Yeah, it is quite the package and I can't wait for it. Sonny Sandoval, thank you so much for hanging, man. Congrats on the release of Veritas next week, May 3rd. I cannot wait to catch you on the road on this tour, man.
Yeah,
it is quite the lineup, so I can't wait for it, man. And we'll have to have you back on the show again.
Anytime, bro. Thank you so much, man.
That wraps up this episode of Loudwire Nights on Demand. Stay caught up with everything happening in the world of rock and metal on the Loudwire app and at loudwire.com.